All right, already. Ooh, I got a sister on the channel. Let me tell you the backdrop. What happened was I was interviewing her friend. She got a story she wanted to tell, so she got on the Zoom with us, and I told her, no, your story too good to not have it told with just me and you. And she called me the next day. She said, it's burning on my soul. I got to tell it. Here we are, folks. And so this is what's happening here at Strong Inspiration. This thing is really kind of catching on because there's some stories out there that's got to be told. And I like helping the people get them to you. I come up with a few questions. The sister keep telling me, well, let me read something. No, don't read nothing. We're going to do it just verbatim. We're going to do it, what's a big word? Expeditiously. There's such a word as that. I don't know how to spell it, but you know what I mean. How about this one? We're going to do it off the cuff. Now I know I got you. Okay. And so come on, my friends. You've been watching me for a little while. Hit that subscribe button. It's free. Hit the like button. It's free. Hit the notifications bell. It's free because I'm putting up 3, 4, 5 videos a week now. I'm rolling. And then tell somebody about Strong Inspirations, because what we do here, we give it to you straight, no chaser. Oh, well, we're going to knock you out in a happy way, because we're going to give you some good Black history. And maybe some of the stories not so good. It be some vicious stuff that them racist people did to us. So let's assume that even after they did that, we overcame that. That's the good part about it. We survived that, and we became better people. And then our descendants didn't have to undo, go through them same scenarios. Okay, so that's the flip side of it. How about that? And so you might know I got a movie out. It's called Business in the Black: The Rise of Black Business in America. 75 minutes of powerful information on how slaves learn how to read and write. But how about this one? What racists did to destroy Black business districts. Not just in Tulsa, but in other cities, we name them. And then what they did is they ran freeways right through many of the cities like they did here in Detroit. And that's all in my movie, and it's more, but it's good. It's gooder than good. And it's on Amazon. So you don't even have to get the DVD. You can get a DVD, but if you don't want to get the DVD, you can watch it on your computer and laptop because it's streaming. That's that new tech stuff, right? And then I wrote a book titled Black Business Book. Now the book got over 200 facts, similar to the movie, but just a little more comprehensive. And then I don't give you no commentary. I just give you the fact. Let it stand on its own merit. And you're gonna say, I ain't never heard that. I can't, it's hard to believe because it's some amazing stories. And then I give you the link to where I found the facts so you can look it up yourself. And you can learn more and share this information with them younger people. Y'all talking about, hey, we got all this history and we don't know it. Well, I'm trying to get it to you. Don't keep this to yourself. And the book and the movie are both on Amazon. But if you want to cut out the big man, you know who I'm talking about, the Amazon guy, then just go to my website at inspirationsbystrong.com. I truly appreciate it if you did that for me today. But if you're not going to do it, I can't do it, or whatever the issue is, I'm okay because I'm still happy. I'm still happy because I'm doing what I like to do. And so let me bring this sister on. I don't know where she's going with this story, so I'm gonna let her tell it. Then I'm gonna ask some questions, and this is something she feel good about telling us. So go ahead and introduce yourself, and let's go ahead and get it on.
Okay. Well, thank you so much for having me, Mr. Brogdon. This is something that I have been talking about and doing some research.
Now, hold on. I got to stop you. What's your name?
My name is Ida Washington.
Right. Where you live?
I live in Columbia, South Carolina. I'm from Clarendon County. That's about 70 miles from here. My mother still lives there. And the story that I want to talk about, I hope that is going to be, what Mr. Brogdon has introduced, and I hope I can tell it well.
Okay, but before you get to tell it, we got to find out a little bit more about you. Now, how you grew up in a little small town, right?
Yes, I did. I grew up in a little small town. Actually, it was like in a county. It was like rural, Clarendon County. I don't know whether you're familiar with Clarendon County, but this is where Brown versus Board of Education, that kind of originated out of that county.
Oh, hold on.
And I was
born. You're rolling on me. You're rolling. I like it. Your town's so small it ain't got a name. It's just called the county.
Well, the closest town is Atlanta, and it used to be called the Beulah community, but right now it's called Atlanta, and it's a population of about 500 people. And,
hold on, let me stop. You grew up in a town with 500 people.
Yes, and I graduated from a high school with 33 seniors in it, and it was integrated.
Oh, so y'all had an integrated prom?
No, that year they decided that we couldn't have a prom. They gave us a record hop, but we couldn't have a prom that year, so I didn't have a prom.
So you got because you went to school with white kids, you got white friends?
No, well, I do from my job, but not from high school.
So so when you were growing up, y'all went to school together. Did y'all speak?
Well, actually, when the school that I graduated from, that was the second year of integration. So everybody was, kind of walked on eggshells. We were cordial, but I didn't get close to anybody.
Did you have a fight with a white girl? That's between me and you.
No, I never had a fight with them. And I went to an all Black school called Carver High. And I don't know, the Black astronaut, Ronald McNair. Well, that's the same school that he went to. And we had great teachers there. And so they kind of prepared us for integration. So when I got there, I was ready.
Well, hold on. Okay, we're gonna get to your story. How do you prepare somebody for integration?
Well, they told us
the white folks is coming. The white folks is coming.
No, they said we better have our stuff together, And so I over-prepared.
I like it.
Yes, I over-prepared.
Now, hold on. Does together mean understanding your place or getting your good grades or both?
Getting your good grades. And probably both. Stay in your place, but definitely get those good grades. So
okay, how about this? What's your place in where you grew up?
My place?
Yeah, what I mean by that is
me and my husband, we have a discussion about it. I didn't know that I was poor, and I didn't care that I was Black. It didn't bother me. I knew I was a human being. I knew I was a citizen, and I deserved everything that the next person deserved.
Okay, if you don't mind, I ask this one. You got me thinking. I told you I go off the cuff here a little bit. You say you was poor, and if you don't mind, I say, what does poor mean?
My father was a sharecropper. We didn't own any land. Yeah, we were sharecroppers.
So he never did. Like all the other stories I've been told, they never did add up where he made no money from it.
No, and actually he finally gave up, and then my mother started doing the sharecropping, and so we always kind of, broke even. Maybe got a little bit of money, enough to buy some school clothes and to get a car, but we never really got a lot of money.
When he did it, or when she did sharecropping, what was the crop that they did, or a bunch of crops, or what?
It was tobacco and cotton.
So your mom picked cotton?
Yes, and I did too.
I talked to a guy, he said he picked it. Did you get good at picking cotton?
No, I wasn't good. I said to myself, this is not for me. I was just out there. So
it was hot there too.
Yeah, it was hot. Yeah. And it was worse in the tobacco field. I learned how to drive by driving a tractor.
What's worse about tobacco field?
Well, it was, that was during the summer, and in the cotton you worked in the fall. So, the climate was a little milder in the fall than the middle of the summer.
Well, okay, I'm gonna just give me another more minute. What do you do in cotton and tobacco when you work tobacco? What do you do?
Oh, with tobacco, well, you have to you have to suckle it, and then you crop it, and then you string it, and you got to cure it, and then you have to get it ready for the market.
Do you pick tobacco?
No, you crop tobacco. You pick cotton.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
Yeah, you crop it.
So it's only hotter. It's only worse because it's hot.
Yeah, it's hot. It's very hot. Very hot. Yeah.
Is it harder to do tobacco where you got to pick your fingers, and you know how you pick the cotton and the cotton hurts your fingers? Does tobacco have something like that to it?
I think it was maybe a little harder with the cotton, because like where the females would be basically under the barn. You worked in the shade, and the guys were out in the field and they cropped it. So being that you were, under the barn in the shade, it was a little easier. But for the cotton, you had to be out there all day, back breaking, picking cotton.
Ooh. So if you don't mind I ask that, you can imagine what them slaves felt like a little bit.
Oh yeah, indeed.
Wow. And so even though you as you said, and I don't mean no harm in it, even though you said you grew up poor, y'all had a good richness in your family. They gave you a sense of pride.
Yes. Like I said, I didn't know I was poor. I didn't, well, I don't, it could have been my parents. They got married when they were very young, like, I think they were like maybe 15 and 16. And so there was just a lot of things, 15 and 16 when they got married, my parents.
15?
And 16.
How you get married at 15? You don't know.
Well, they had to get my mother, her mother had to sign for them. They had to get parental signature to get married, and that's what they did.
Oh my God! I don't even think I like girls at 15.
Yeah, my mom had 5 kids when she turned 22.
Hold on, say it again. She had 5 kids when what?
She had 5 children by the time she turned 22.
Ooh, beautiful sister, beautiful sister. And so you grow up in this, and you say, oh, maybe you wasn't poor then.
I was. We were very poor. We were very poor. I mean, we didn't have a lot. We did.
Y'all had a house?
Sure. It was like owned by the boss man. It wasn't our house.
And you had your own house?
I mean, we lived in, separate. We had a house to live in, but we didn't own the house.
Okay, if you don't mind, I say, is this like what it would have been like for a slave? You lived on the plantation? It was just different?
Well, we probably was a step above the slaves.
Because you didn't get the beat down and all that.
We didn't get the beating. No, we didn't get the beating. No.
Wow. And so, my last question, I'm sorry, sister. How did your father end up, he ended up getting out of sharecropping?
He found a job in Atlanta and working on tractor tires. He was like an auto recapper is what they
Yeah.
And so he actually worked there like for 20-something years and retired. And my mom, she eventually got out of farming probably, I think it was in like 1970, she got out of farming too. And
1970?
found a job in Atlanta at a textile plant.
Oh, I'm sorry for doing this. Did y'all have running water and bathroom in your house?
We didn't get running water until let's see, probably was like in the probably late 60, like 69.
Really?
Yeah. Yes.
So
Yep.
what you do for water? Had to go to the well?
Yeah, we had a pump. You pump your water.
And that was outside.
Yes. Uh-huh. Mhm.
And so you took a bucket and got the water and then had to take it in the house. Did you and had to heat the water to take a shower and that kind of thing?
Well, bath.
Yeah, yeah, bath.
One of
Yeah.
those bathtubs, those brown tubs.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what you use to take your bath in.
Oh my God.
But see, I didn't know. I thought everybody lived like that.
Really?
Yeah, yes.
Did you have TV?
We didn't get a TV. We got a TV like in the 50s. We did get a TV.
Man. Did you and you had some but you had nice clothes. You end up getting some nice clothes from your older sister and that kind of thing.
Yeah, later on, but when I was like young, like in elementary school, my grandmother used to make my clothes out of they call it feed sack. It was the food that you buy to feed the hog or the cattle, and it would come in these big old, probably, oh gosh, probably 20 or 30-pound bags. And it had very pretty material. And so she would salvage that and sew it together and make our clothes out of that.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
What a story. But there was I guess in those clothes, did they she must have had to put a lining so it wasn't rough on your skin or something, right?
No, it wasn't that rough. It was like actually nice cotton material.
Oh, really?
It was. It's called feed sack material.
Oh, really?
And it's vintage stuff. If you find some now, people will buy it.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Okay, so now you graduated from high school. May I ask, did you go to college?
Yes, I have a master's.
Oh, really? Oh, yeah. All right.
Yeah, I went to Benedict College and got a degree in business administration. And then after I was married and had children, I went back and got my master's in curriculum and instruction from Columbia International University. And both colleges are here in town.
Okay, I'm gonna get to the story, sister. Trust me, I'm gonna get there. But this is amazing stuff. So now, did you get a good education in high school that you were prepared for college?
Yes, I graduated valedictorian of my high school. I overcompensated. So I was pretty ready when I got to college.
How did you afford it? You got some grants and they gave you a scholarship, probably.
No, I didn't get a scholarship. Actually, I stayed out my first semester and I worked at the same plant that my mom was working at, and I saved up my money. And when I got to Benedict with my loans and the little bit of money I saved, I had enough to pay for that first semester. And back then, I mean, gosh, it didn't cost, but the whole year wasn't but about $2,000.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Now, Benedict is an all-girls school.
No, Benedict is co-ed.
Which one is the all-girls school?
Here, well, it's Columbia College.
I thought it was all-girls school. Okay, all right. Well, I could be wrong. Yeah, and so my last question before we get into stuff. Does a big city scare you growing up like you did?
Yeah, I never wanted to go to New York. No, I did not want to go to New York. So yeah, and I was petrified when I came up here to Columbia. I was ready to go back home my first night, and my roommate, which we went to high school together, we came up here together to go to college, and she talked me into staying, but I said, no, I don't want to stay here. I want to go back home.
Because in your town, you know everybody, and it's a lot of, you walk down the street, everybody got love and all that kind of thing.
It was more rural. It wasn't like.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. It wasn't like you had a lot of people around, Now, where my mother, my father actually wound up building a house, getting a mortgage. And so in that little community, it was probably maybe about 10 houses on that road. And it was just maybe a couple of miles out of Atlanta.
But how close was the house next to you when you grew up before before that house?
Oh gosh, we were like, there was, I say on that road where I lived, and it probably was about 2 or 3 miles. There probably about 5 houses on that road.
How did you get to school?
Oh, we had a bus, but we had to walk a little ways to catch the bus.
Man,
Mhm.
you got me going on this. We're gonna get to the story, sister. I promise you. So now, are there snakes and stuff like that? That some critters that you got to worry about where you grew up?
Oh yeah, we had snakes. We did, yeah.
Some
Just
of them
snakes.
poisonous too, ain't they?
Yeah, there was they call them copperhead. Yeah, there was some.
Did you ever run
Yeah, a
into
lot
one?
more. Couple times. I didn't fool with those too much though.
Some of them you did fool with?
No, none of them. No,
Oh.
but I'm saying
What
no.
about I didn't know I'm in Detroit, everybody. I'm big
Oh,
city, man. I ain't gonna lie to you. I don't remember growing up seeing fireflies until I went down to my dad's birthplace in Asheville, North Carolina.
really?
Yeah,
Oh
I don't remember
gosh.
seeing. They're here now, but I don't remember seeing them growing up
Oh
personally.
yeah, we had all that. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And it's are you near a lake or something like that?
There what?
A lake? Any water?
No, and we were like probably about an hour from the beach. Now we would go to Myrtle Beach maybe once a year. But nope, we didn't have lakes and stuff like that. We had ditches, as they call them, canal ditches.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you got me going. How dark is it at night where you live? You
It's
know what I
very,
mean? Because I went
very,
someplace and there
very
was no light
dark.
and it was super dark. Is it super dark
Yes,
there?
yes. When I would go home to see my mom, she knew she had to find me a nightlight. After living up here in Columbia and used to lights. And when I got down there, I was going like, it's too dark down here. So it's no light. The only light that you're gonna see is the moonlight, when it's out.
Yeah. Did you know music? What kind of
Oh
music
yeah.
did you like?
Oh gosh, yeah. Music. I think music saved my soul. I mean, we listened to all the Motown, all of that. That was
Because
just
you had a radio.
yeah. We had a radio. We had a radio.
And
Yes.
what station could you listen to that played Motown?
It was this little station. It would go off at when it got dark. I forgot the name of it, but they would play all kinds of music. So we were exposed to good music. We
Oh,
knew
okay.
about James Brown, Supremes, Solomon Burke, Otis Redding, Sam Cooke. All
Yeah,
of that.
Sam Cooke was big back then, wasn't he?
Yeah. I love Sam Cooke. He's my favorite.
Yeah,
My
everybody
favorite.
said they
Yeah.
love Sam Cooke.
Yeah.
I didn't know
Yeah.
he was as big as he is. And he's even
Oh,
in
yeah.
that movie that they got out now.
Yeah, I saw that. I saw
Yeah.
that. And I've watched some documentaries about him too.
Well, my last question, I promise you. How did you play growing up?
Oh, we made our toys. We used to use like tires and barrels and things like that we would make, and we push them all around, and then we had mules too, so we would ride the mule around too. So
Mules, the animal mules?
yes, the mules.
Mm. All right. Thank you for that. So now tell us the story that yeah, go ahead.
Okay, well, this story is about my mother's one of her older brothers, and it took place like in 1935. So he supposedly had spent the night with some friends, and that particular night, someone said he broke into their house. It was a white family, and supposedly he broke in, and they asked, "Who is it?" And he calls his name. Now that didn't make any sense. And so that next day, he was arrested. A sheriff deputy and the lady's husband came to my grandmother's house and picked him up, took him to jail, and they arranged him on burglary and attempt assault. And so that happened like May 29th, 1935. And so he stayed in jail until time for the trial. Um, they had a jury trial and found him guilty, and they sentenced him to 40 years of hard labor for rape. Now, on the arrangement paper, it didn't say anything about rape. But when they sentenced him, it was all kind of things that he had done. And they took him away. He went away to a prison up here in Columbia and stayed there for about 2 years. And then he got sick and was put in a mental hospital. And supposedly, while he was, incarcerated, my grandmother and those, they tried to get him out. They went and talked to a lawyer and all that. And he said that, well, when he gets 21, I can do something. I can get him out. But just before he turned 21, they got a telegram saying he had died. And they didn't know what happened to him. And so my grandfather and the person who he worked with, his boss man, they came to get the body. And when they came up here, they said the body wasn't ready. And so he couldn't spend the night and he couldn't get back. So they never really knew what happened to him. And so my mom used to always tell that story, that her brother was taken away, by this man, the sheriff, and the lady's husband, supposedly who he had assaulted. And I would tell her, I said, Mama, I doubt, now back in the 30s, I doubt that he made it, to jail. I said they probably killed him, but she kept saying, no, I don't think he did. And so I started my research on it, and I would research on and off for, I said, probably last 20 years or so. I would just, try to find information on him, and I could never find nothing on him. I mean, no death certificate or nothing. But I kept at it. I wrote to the Department of Correction. I wrote to Department of Justice, and they came back and said, I did get a little bit of information from the Department of Correction, but the Justice Department said that wasn't a story, that wasn't something that they could do anything about. But it kind of seems like when I did that, something had to happen, because I went back. What really kind of got me more interested in the story is when George Staney, the little boy who they executed when he was like 14, and he was the youngest person in the United States, one of the youngest person that they had executed, and this was in 2014 when it happened. So I really started working on it then. And I remember I was off one day from work, and I went to the Bureau of Vital Statistics trying to find a death certificate. And they came back and said, no, we don't have nothing on him. And I gave them, the different spellings that I thought possibly, it could be. And they said, no, nothing. And so I decided later on, I would go to the archives building, and I went in there. And I don't know, if you've ever done research, when you're trying to find out something, it's like the people working at the desk, they really don't seem very interested in what you're looking for, Okay. So I remember the guy saying, well, if it ain't been 75 years, we can't tell you nothing. And he asked me what year, and I just kind of threw out a year, because I wasn't even sure about the year. And sure enough, it was 75 years, almost to the day when I went, maybe a couple of weeks, but it was 75 years. So he comes out with all this paperwork. I found the order, the order that where he was sentenced, the warrant, all kinds of information I was able to find out about him. But I still did not know where he was buried. And so I still start doing research. I continue to research. So I think it was like in 2018, I ran into Sonia, the young lady from last night. And when I was telling her the story, and I told her, you know, he died in a mental hospital, and she said she kind of gave me some ideas where he could be buried.
Right.
So I went online with that information, and sure enough, there was his name, the plot, and everything was there. But all along, I couldn't find nothing on him.
Wow.
And so then the next step was to try to actually go visit the grave. And so I called, and it was like everybody didn't know nothing. They said it was the cemetery was there, but it was locked. And I actually did show up one day, you know, just to see where it was. And sure enough, it was locked. It was locked, like they said. And then sometime later, I was out just running errands one Saturday morning. And I said, you know, I'm just going to go by there. And I went by there, and the gate was open. And I was able to find his grave, the marker. It was just in an open field with just the markers that are flat on the ground. And his marker was like 1534. And when I kind of counted it off, and when I got to the spot where I thought should have been, it was nothing. So I had my keys. I took my keys and I started digging around, and I uncovered the marker, and there it was, 1534. Where it was. So nobody, you know, from the family had ever visited that grave because we didn't know where it was.
Yeah.
Yes. So that was my story.
Whew. Okay, I got one question.
Mm-hmm.
He was over some friend's house, and the friends was white?
No, they were black. But
where the white person come in at? They left the house, and the white woman saw him and said, hey, he trying to rape me?
Well, she claimed that somebody came in the house and she asked who it was, and he said it was him. He said it's Harold Abson.
He didn't even get to rape her.
No, he didn't touch her. I mean,
why would he? Did he know her?
I mean, yeah, well, probably did, you know, because all you know, it was a small community, and everybody, you know, black and white knew one another. Yeah.
And how old was he at this point, do you think?
He was, my mom was born in 1933. And she said when this happened, she remembered him pulling her in the wagon. So she thought he was about 14 or 15 when it happened.
Unbelievable.
Mm-hmm.
So at the end of the day, to sum it up, you believe they just got mad at him, or she just accused him just to get, you know, I'm saying, let's say he's innocent. Why, what do you think she had just accused him?
Well, the word got out that it was her boyfriend, her white boyfriend.
I've heard of them stories many a time.
Yeah, and to save face, you know, with her husband, she said it was a black man.
Yep, there you go. I heard them stories many a time. She fooling around on the husband. Boy, instead of saying it's another white guy, she blamed a black guy.
A black guy, a young, innocent black guy.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Man.
So those, you know, those are the things that happen, you know.
Yeah, it happens. Oh my God. So, oh man, I got no more questions.
No more questions. Okay.
I got no more questions. I thank you so very much for telling your story here on Strong Inspirations. I got no questions. I'm gonna get some tissue. If I would have known the story, I would have worn a white shirt with a black tie. I do that. Yeah. So no. I would. That's what I would have done. No. You know. But in any event, I'm glad that you know the truth.
Yeah.
I'm glad that you've the beautiful person that and your family has survived it. Let's say, what have you. The history goes on. I thank you for coming on Strong Inspirations channel to tell us that. And everybody, this is what we do. You know, people got stories.
Well,
that injustice stuff.
Yeah.
And there's a story, but this sister right here, she's the class valedictorian. That's even over the white people, ain't it?
Yeah.
Even over the white people. Was they mad when they had to announce you the head of the class?
What they did, they tried to do like, well, we're going to have two. We're going to have a black
that's what they do.
So.
You got a 4-point The other one got a 3.6. They gonna say we got 2 of them. Ain't no
Yeah.
Give it to that
That's what
sister.
happened. That's what happened.
I appreciate you, everybody. Come on, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, hit the notification. I ain't gonna even go through them buttons. I ain't gonna do it right now. All I'm gonna say is I thank you for being on the channel. I want to say to you, sister, please stay strong, stay safe, stay on your grind. Stay beautiful as you are. I look like I got a good looking husband. I see him in the background. He got a good looking husband. I'm happy y'all married.
Yeah,
it's a beautiful thing. And so we're going to say with that, thank you so very much. And we out. Bye-bye.
Thank you too. Be blessed too.